Right guys, welcome back to another video of me. Yeah, okay, never mind. Forget the introductions. Let's get into it. Alright. This type of drawing that we're gonna do today is called a yeah, we're gonna call it it's gonna be called a orthographic projections. Right. So what they give us a drawing at the view of an isometric view of a certain object. Right. So we need to draw the three views of this angle from what they give us over here. Right. But first thing first, we need to understand what is first angle projection. There's also a second other type of orthographic projection which is called third angle projection. Right. All right, so let's get into it. Let's see what is first angle projection. First angle projection, right? It simply means that what you see on the side, you draw it on the other side, right? So for first angle projection, right? So over here, they give us the front view is from X pointing in this direction. So we see that this part over here is the front view, but they also give us a left view. So if this is the front view, this will be the left view. Of course, it's 90 degrees, as you can see there. It's 90 degrees to the angle. And obviously they give us a top view. So where are we going to draw these views, right? So for first angle projection, you need to understand that whatever you see on the left, you need to draw on the right. Whatever you see at the top, you need to draw at the bottom. And obviously your front view will be in the front, right? So what we need to do is we need to draw three views of this. So let's figure out where we need to draw where we need to draw these three views. Sorry. Yes. So they give us a front view, they give us a left view, which we're going to draw on the right. They give us a top view, which we're going to draw at the bottom. All right. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my top left corner as my front view, all right? Because I'm given a left view, I can draw it on the right side because this is going to be the right side, and then the top view which will be drawn at the bottom. So this will be my front view, this will be my left view, this will be my right view. If this was our front view, if this was the front view, if x was in this direction, then this will become our right view. So then it will be a totally different drawing. Then my front view will be over here, my top view will be down here, and my right view will be on the left side. All right. Just going to show you as an example of what the third angle projection view is. Yeah. So over here we have the example, right? So here they give us third angle projection, right? They give us, this is the front view. So the front view is pointed in this direction. So all of this curve inside, that part over here, that part over here, this part over here, that part over there. That will be the front view. So automatically this will be the right view. And that will be the top view. That's what they give us, the information that they give us. So let's see how this will look on paper. Right? Third angle is different from first angle. Third angle, whatever you see on the right, you draw on the right side. Whatever you see on top, you draw on the top side. If you see it on the left side, you will draw it on the left side. If you see it at the bottom, it will be bottom. It will be very rarely that they give us. But yeah, it can be in some cases. But yeah, so over here, I've chosen my front view as my bottom left side, right? Because my top view will always be on top, so I chose it here to be at the bottom. It will be either on the left or the right, depending on what view they give us. So third angle, remember, front view will always be one of the bottom sides, so either one of the two here on the sides. For first angle, it will be either one of the two on the top side. So obviously, yeah. So for this case, because they give us a right view, I draw it on the right side. I give us a top view. top view. I drew it on the top. It gives us a front view also here on the bottom left side. Yeah. So that's how you decide on which side you need to draw your views, depending on what they give us. If it's first angle or third angle, and also which views do they give us. Obviously, if it was this was the left view and this was the front view, then obviously this will just switch over here. Then this will become your front view, this will become your left view, and this will become your top view over here on the side. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, all right, that's just an explanation for you to understand better. All right. Let me give you a small example, something on a small scale, right? So over here, they give us a car at this angle over here, right? So if I were to say, give me the three views here, and I tell you this is the front view, which is in this direction, right? If I told you that is the front view, automatically at this angle, this will be the right view, and this will be the top view. So this will be the right view, this will be the front view, and this will be the top view. All right, that's from what the information give us. If it's at this angle, right, and they give us that this is the front view, so always you need to know how to learn to read it. So if I say draw this in first angle projection from this will be a front view, right? Your front view will be here on the bottom left side, right? So it will be here on the bottom left side. Then your right view will be here on the right side like that. And obviously your top view will look like that, right? The key thing about these type of drawings, right, is you need to project your lines all the time, right? So obviously, let's go back to the question they ask us, what to draw, right? Okay, it's a very, very light, but the information is clear, all right? So for first angle, all right, they give us this is the front view. So my front view will be first angle, right? So we either one of the two sides here, all right? So they give us a front view and they give us a left view. So that means my front view will be here. My left view from the left side, I draw on the right side. From my left view, I draw on the right side. So that means it will be on this side, all right? So that means my top view will be in my bottom left side. All right, now let's get that out of the way. First things first, I need to divide my page into 4 equal sections. But what I did was I obviously made a 10mm bar at the bottom for me, just in case, just to include my name block, a name block for me or something. Yeah, it's like a 10mm line at the bottom, but you don't need to focus, don't need to worry about that. The page is roughly about 29.5 to 29.6 centimeters in long, not long, but breadth. But for the length, it's about 42 centimeters, so 420 millimeters, around about that size. So I made my middle, I made about 21 here in the middle. That's my center. Then I draw a line up and down, and my center of that will obviously be roughly about 13.5 after I minus 2, because it was roughly about 29, and I took about 20 millimeters off. So I got my center now, I got everything. Now let's get started now. Because my views is, I'd say my front view will be top left, my right view will be, my left view will be on the right side, and my top view will be the bottom left, right? It's the only 3 views I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a 45-degree line, all right? 45-degree line here in the bottom right side. The reason for this is that so that I can project whatever I have on my right view, I can project on my top view. Whatever on my top view, I can project on my right view. And obviously from here, I can project my top view, I can project to my front view to top view. From my front view to my left view, from my left view to my front view again. That's for this 45-degree line. And I will bring it up in equal. Instead of me measuring all the time, I can just take the line across, wherever it meets on this point over here, put my set square down there, and then I just draw that line up, and there it is there. Alright, so now let's get into the drawing, right? First things first, you need to measure. What I like to do is I like to draw a box of each view, right? I like to draw a box of each view. So for me, what I like to do is I like to figure out, so because, okay, this will be my front view, this will be my left, this is my left view, this is my front view, this will be my top view, and obviously there will be my 45-degree line. Yeah, so the total length, you see it starts here from the back of the side of the, that means like the first part backwards now, until there, which is the center of the circle over here, it's 140. But the outside circle diameter is 60. So we're gonna add a radius, which is 30. So this total length over here is gonna be 170. So this is my front view. I look at it from this side. So that means my total width is gonna be 170 from what we have measured. But yeah, oh, I completely forgot for something first. What I like to do, right, is I like to, there's different depending on countries, depending on different international standards. What I like to do is, right, I like to draw a, from these lines over here, right? I'm not gonna make it all on this line over here and all on this line, because then the drawings will be like this. I want at least to be a space, so I can see clearly the difference between the two drawings. So what I like to do is I like to do a 10 millimeter, so to say, border, but just a space in between. So 10 millimeter on each side will be 20 millimeter. 10, so it'll be 10 to the side, 10 to the side, right? Then I'll take my longer set square, obviously. Then I'll just draw it down, up and down, from where 10 millimeter I made down there, right? Alright, that's my 10 millimeter down there, right? I'm gonna do the same on this side. But what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna bring it down to this 45-degree line I did over there, and then I can just take it across. Let me just see where about, okay, and just take it across over there, and I have my 10 on each side. Okay, I just need to do 10 from this one up as well. Oops, now 10 is from this one here, but yeah. Alright. Alright, just see. Alright, now I have my 10 millimeter space, 10 millimeter space all out, right? So now let's get back to the measurement. So from this corner over here, right, I'm gonna measure over 170, because so that's the front view they give us. So from there right through until the first point on this side, it's 170. So I'm gonna measure 170. So from that point over there, right, so from that point over there, I'm just gonna measure 170 over there. Alright, then again, take the switch square, I'm gonna draw it up and down because I might have to project it on both sides. From there to there, up, okay. You can take it fully up, or or you can take it up just to a point where you know it's going to be the next measurement, and I'll show you now. All right, so that's the length of this, which is going to be 170, right? Now let's look at the height of the first row, of the first view. All right. All right. So what I'll do, all right, you can take this 80 over here, which is going to be this block over here, but because this is coming down at an angle, all right, let me show you. All right, so from this, you see this outside circle over here, from there till there it will be 30, so this whole circle will be 60, which is in line with this whole part over here. As you can see, the reaches here, and it, you will see that it becomes 6 millimeters, right? And that is obviously a problem, right? So we want to find the full height of this whole thing, right? So from there until there till that point, right, it's 60, right? Because they give us the diameter as 60, right? And if we see that is in line with that and comes until that corner over there, if you measure up 6, there will be 66. So from this point up until there, up until that point, it will be 66. And as you can see, they give us another measurement over here, which is 40. All right. So for us to get the rest of this part over here, we need to subtract this 40 from this 80 over here, which will be 40, right? So we need to add that 40 to the original 66 that we get. So we will get 106, right? So let me measure that. So I'm putting it in the corner. I need to measure up 106. All right. As you can see, it almost goes off the page, the edge of the page. Yeah. So that's my total height of my front view. And what I do, right, because this is 106 over here, it will be a 106 here for my left view as well. But we just don't know this distance over here, right, which will be that width over there. So I already did the block for this view over here for my front view, right? So now I need to do a block for my left view, which is pointing in this direction over here, right? I already found the height, which is the 106, right? So from this bottom edge right up, which will be this top part over here, right, is 106. We've measured that now. We determined that. So now I need to determine the width, total width over here, right? So from the back here, they give us that it's 52 millimeters between the two centers over here, right? And they give us that from the centers there's 20 millimeters to the left side, and from that center on the right side will be 20 millimeters to the outside edge. So that will become total of 92 millimeters, right? And let's see which is the widest of this and that at the back. Let's see. 24 plus 18. So 24 plus 24, that will give us 48. Plus 18, that will give us 66, which is not as nearly as wide as the back part. So that is going to be our widest part, which is that back part over there. 52 plus 20 on each side, so that will give us 92 in total. Remember, this is only going to be the total width of it. So let me find it there. So I need to put it there, measure 90, 92. It's going to be right about yep, here we go. That's 92. And as I said, I like to take my longest one, so I'll measure up. Oops, there we go. Still in. Alright, there we go. Camera stabilized again. Alright. So that's 92. You see what I do is I bring it down to my 45-degree line, and then I'll take it across. So I'll take it across until this 170. So this is going to be 170. So let's look at our top view, right? We have already done the lines for a top view now because we've projected the lines down, right? So the top view will be this portion over here, yeah, right? So it will be here on this plane, this bottom left corner over here, all right? And we found out that obviously the width of it will be 170, right? That's 140 plus that extra 30 millimeter from the circle, right? And we found that the width there is the same as the back, yeah, which is going to be the 52 plus 20 plus 20, which is going to be the 92. All right, now we have created a nice block, as to say, for all of our drawings, right? So the next part, what I'm gonna do, okay, ignore this. So the next part, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on my front view. I'm gonna try and complete it as far as I can from what they give us over here, right? And for me, in my opinion, they give us enough information over here for me to complete this whole drawing over here, all right? All right, so first thing what I'm going to focus, right, is I'm going to focus on this back part over here, right? They give us the total height as 80, and they give us a thickness of 18, right? So from the top corner, I'm going to measure down 80. So from the top corner, I'm going to measure down 80. Let me just put it there in that corner. So from that top corner, I'm going to measure down 80. All right. Let's see if it lines up. That's 80. All right, that's 80. Right, and I only need to take it in, so about 18 plus another 18 will stop there at that point. I'll show you why, right? So I'm gonna take it across. I'm just gonna take it across fully, just in case I need it on the other side as well. So I'm gonna take it from across two views, basically. Across two views, on my front view and on my left view. That's where I'm gonna use it, right? So I need to measure. So obviously to save time, right, they give us another measurement over here, which is 18, right? 18 in, and they give us 18 there. So I'll make two dots. So from that corner over there, I'm gonna measure 18 and another 18 further. So I'm just gonna put my ruler on 36. Yeah, put my ruler on 36. Right, okay, I measured 36 now, but I didn't measure the 18. All right, now I've measured 18. All right, that's 18, right? What I'm gonna do is for 18, for both 18s, I'm gonna take it fully up and fully down, right? So that's 18, I'm taking fully up. From the bottom view, from the top view, which is at the bottom, to the front view, which is at the top left corner, right? Again, in the beginning, try to make light lines, because it won't always, you won't always be darkened for where you think it is darkened. You see, like in this case, you might assume that that 18 goes also fully up. You see the second 18. So from there till there, right, we can darken that part. You see, so you can get a clear view of why it is like that, right? So I'm gonna take it on this side from that corner. So this part will be dark. Yeah, let me just get there. Right, so that part will be darkened there, right? And you might be wondering, but there's no line over here that does this, right? That's right. That's because it's a curve. It's almost a curve, but that line over here, this line over here, it's actually this top part over here. Let's go back to the cars example, right? So from here, right, we might have a, let's say from this angle here, right? From here, we can see that it's a curve. We can see that it's a curve, right? You can see that it's a curve. But from this angle, we only see until this part over here. If we look at it as like a top view, we only see this part over here. It's almost like we don't see that curve. We only see this line over here. This line, that line. Yeah, as you can understand, right? So yeah, for curves, only when we will do the left view, then we'll add that curve, right? So there we got that part over there, right? So there they tell us from this corner over here, it measures up 40 millimeters. So I need to measure up 40 millimeters, right? 40 millimeters up. Then from that point, I need to measure 40 millimeters across, and then down 6 millimeter, not 60, 6 millimeters, right? And then we will take it until this point where it touches the center line of the circle. Yeah, right. All right. Which is from the left side, it will be 30 millimeters. The reason for it is because from there till there will be 30 because of the diameter 60, which will also go up. We will be touching that point over there. All right. Stay with me. So from this corner over here, I need to measure up, as I said, 40, right? I need to measure up 40. I need to measure up 40. So what I did was I took it across, so it stretches across both views because I might need it on both views, right? And then it measures in 40, another 40 in to the left. So I'm gonna roll on 40. All right. All right. Yeah, measures 40 across, right? So what I'll do with that 40, right, is I'll just take it down to across both views. So from there, so I measured across 40 and it tells us we need to measure down. We need to measure down 6 millimeters. So I need to put my ruler again on that point. I need to measure down 6 millimeter, right? Which for me will be from that point. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Right. Again, what I do is I stretch it across the two views, right? So that 6 over there, I took it down. And I took it across, so it stretches across both views. The reason for that is we'll progress later into the video. Then you'll see that I don't need to measure again because I've just projected that lines over here again. I just need to measure one or two things, you see. I don't need to measure actually again. Let me show you. Let me tell you why. Because I might have everything I need on this view over here, right? So then I'll project it over to my left view and I project it down to my top view, right? I'll project it down to my top view. And then if I complete my top view, all my lines that are here, I can just project it over to my 45-degree line and I project it up to my left view. Then for my left view, I don't need to measure anything again because all the information is transferred over from this point to there. And from this point, it will transfer to the 45-degree line up. Then all the information will be there. I'll just need to do a few curves or so, you know? Yeah. So that's the reason for why I'm projecting it across. So from that, I'm projecting up, down, and left and right. All right. So now that we've got our 6 millimeter line, right? So now we know that this 40 millimeter line, right, will be darkened. From the information that they give us, right? Immediately what I can do is I can do this line at, you see this triangle line at an angle over there. Immediately I can do that line because it tells me that is 40 millimeters, right? And that is some unknown distance, but we already have it. We don't need to measure it. We can just take it and meet it with that line over there. Right, so we can just take, I can just take my set square or ruler, whatever, put it on that cone over there, right, put it on that cone over there, and just draw a line that joins the two. Alright. Immediately what I can do also is I can bring down that line, which is gonna be the 6 millimeter line, right? So from that point until there, 6 millimeters, right? Alright. And as I've said, we're only gonna take, see the 6 millimeter line that we take across, we're only gonna take it until the center line over here, which is gonna be 30 millimeters from the side in. So I'm gonna take my ruler, I'm gonna measure from the left side, I'm gonna measure 30 millimeters. Alright. From there until there, I'll be 30 millimeters, right? So I can immediately darken it until that point as well. And the reason for it will become very clear soon. That is because over here I will have a circle, right? I will have a circle of 60 millimeter diameter, right? So my radius will obviously be on 30, but I'm a park that for now. All right, I'm gonna park that for now. So because my lines are over there, from there it will be 30, so immediately I can do my center lines for my circle, right? So what I'll do is, so from that point, right, I'll take it down. I don't need to take it further up. So from that line, I'll just do short line, long line. Let's just take it a bit further down. All right. And we need to measure from this point. This is our line, which is going to be at the bottom. From that, we can measure up 30 millimeters. That will be find our center of our circle. All right, let me just measure. All right, and just to make sure that it's equal in length, I'll use my compass. All right, as you can see, it touches over there and it touches here at the bottom perfectly. All right, and it touches at the top perfectly. All right, so because I have my point, I can just do my center, the outside circle. Right, I can immediately do my outside circle. There we go. Okay, let me just make this center line. Let me just project it across again, just so we don't get confused. Again, I'm projecting it over because I'll need it again on the right view. All right, so far this is what we see, and the inside diameter is 36 millimeters, right? So from the information they give us is 36 millimeters, that inside diameter, which tells us over there, which I'm gonna put my compass at radius 18. All right, so I'll put my compass on radius 18. And there I have my inside circle. All right, now I've gotten that point out of the way. Now you see from this corner over here, it goes in a bit further, 80 millimeters. Now let's focus again back here. Right, so from that, so I can just do a straight line over here which spans across the two 18 millimeters, which is going to be 36 millimeters. All right, and then over here the information is not so well given, but from that corner over there it goes right until it makes a tangent with the circle over here. All right, that is what we assume from the information given us, which is limited. Obviously they only given us one view. And the reason for that is because it won't be at a certain angle over here. It won't be like at this angle over here, touching the circle over here, the point, because the part will be very difficult to machine, you see. Instead, we'll just take it tangent to the circle. Will just be easier for the machine to machine it. Yeah, let me just say that. Yeah. So from this corner over here, I will make a line that is tangent to my circle. All right, we are almost done with this view. Yeah, right. But they tell us, you see, from that 18, from that corner needs to go up by a certain amount. But they given us this distance over here between these 2 points is 12 millimeters, right? So if we want to take from this point over here, which is going to be this line up over here, it's down there, it's 6, right? 6. So we're going to have to measure from that corner over there. We're going to have to measure 12 down. All right. So we're going to have to measure 12 down. All right. So from that point over there, I'm gonna have to measure down. Ten, 11, 12. There we go. 12. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it across to both views, but I'm only gonna take it across until it touches the circle lightly. Right, so only until it touches the circle lightly, I'm gonna take it across to my left view. Right, but it only goes a certain distance. So from that point until there, it is 60. It is 60 millimeters. So from that corner over there until a certain point over there, it is 60 millimeters. So my roll on 60. My roll on 60. Right. And I need to bring out, I need to bring down that specific point over here. I have to bring this 12 from there, will be there, will be 12. Again, I'm going to project that 60 millimeter line down as well. Alright, let me just erase that part of this bit dark. Alright, so now I'm almost fully complete with my front view, but there's a problem over here. Right, they give us over here, they give us holes. They give us holes, so that holes over there. Right, that's the only thing we don't see on a view like this. All right, and obviously this part of you see, if you look in from the side here, yes, from the center of this circle, it is 28 millimeter in. Right, but let's first focus on the holes over here. Right, so the holes is from let me see, the hole is 16 millimeter in diameter, right, from the right side. So from there it will be in 20 millimeters. We need to find the height of this thing, right? Right, so for us to get the center of those circles, right, we need to take in from the center, it will be 50, half of 52 will be 26, right? 26. All right, so how do we get the center of this the center of that circle, right? Is we're gonna take this, because this over here is 20 millimeters, right? The radius of the, you see this curve over here, will be 20 millimeters. So you have to put your compass on 20 millimeters. So therefore we assume the distance from the top to the center of that circle will be 20 millimeters. So from the top of the drawing, it will be 20 millimeters, right? So from that, I'm gonna measure down. I'm gonna measure measure everything over here, right? So over there I got the center of my circle, and from my center of my circle it tells me that it is diameter 16, right? From that, the information that they give us over there, right? So I'm gonna measure 8 up and 8 down. So from there I'll measure. Oops, yeah, I couldn't get enough. Again, I'm gonna measure 8 up again. So from there, or you can just make it easy, put the compass on radius 6, so put it on the center, and then you just measure, make a mark over there, then you do it the same thing for the bottom. But yeah, I've made my marks now. So now what I'm gonna do, right, this is what we call hidden detail, right? It's not something you see from this angle over here, but it is there. We need to indicate that it is over there, right? So that's my center of my circle. So first thing I'm gonna do, right? Long line, short line, long line. Again, short line, long line. Oh, short line, long line. Alright. Because it is my center of my circle, right? That's again light construction, right? But for my hidden detail, it will be slightly darker than that, right? This is how we indicate hidden detail. Short strokes of equal length. So short strokes of equal length. You'll see the final product now. Right? There it indicates that there is a hole over there. That's a hole going right through. Alright? Alright? Now we've indicated that. Now we need to indicate this part over here. This cut out section in between the two circles over there. Alright? So for that distance is from the center of this circle needs to go to the right 24 millimeters down. Right? So from the center of the circle, right? So from that point over there, it will be 24 millimeters. Again, it will be like this. Again, short strokes, right? Only until this line over here, right? So that the person who is viewing the drawing can see that that part over there in the back is cut off. Because we know that part is going to be cut off, we are going to project that lines again. We are going to project it down. So we can have it on two views, right? So now that I have my front view is completely done over here, right? There's no any other information. This hole goes right through, that hole goes right through over there. You have a triangle. So that's our front view done, right? And now let's focus on our left view, which is going to be drawn on the right side, right? So we need to look at the drawing from this angle over here. So from the drawing give us, we need to look at it from this side over here, right? Right? So let's look at what we need to focus on over here, right? So over there's a cutout section over there that goes right through, right? There's these two circles over here, 20, 24, 24, right? So from that point we already took it over, right? There's this slab over here, then we see this part over here, we see this over here, and we see these faces here at the back as well, right? So now we have already taken this across, right? So now let's just measure the 24, sorry, not 24 thickness, yes, 24 thickness on the outside as well. All right, so from this point, just a reminder that this total width over here, I made it 92, right? So from the right side, I need to measure in, from the left side, I need to measure in 24, all right? From my right side, I need to measure in 24, 92 minus 24, that will be 68. So that will be 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. right? Oops, sorry. It will be not be 24 from that. So it will not be 24 from. Sorry, ignore that part, right? So first thing, what I'm gonna do, right, is I'm gonna find the cent of this 92, which is gonna be roughly, is it 40, 46, 46. So I need to measure 46. That will be my center of my circle, right? Right? That's 46. So I have my center of my circle. From there, I need the total distance from the center of the circle. The total to the left and to the right is 9, right? So I need to measure 9 to the left and 9 to the right of that part over there, right? I need to measure 9 to the left and 9 to the right, which will give me the 18, right? Right? So there we have those points over there, right? Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my center of my circle, I'm gonna measure it, I'm gonna take it up. Right? And from the 9, right? From the 9 I measured on each side. From the 9 I measured on each side. What I need to do next is I need to measure from that 9 on each side. I need to measure from the 9 on the left side. I need to measure 24, and from the 9 on the right side I need to measure 24 again. So I'm my ruler on 24. So that will be 24, and on the left side that will be, on the right side that will also be 24. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now I've gotten these ones over here, right? So what I can do is I can just project it up, but only until where the circle, so which is from there until there, it is 60 up. And I've already projected that line across. As you can see over here, I've already projected that line across, right? So immediately what I can do is I can darken it. So 60 minus 2 over there, right? And from the 9 to the left side, now we're taking that up. The 9 on the right side, and take up. And then the extra 24 I added on. Alright. I am not gonna do it right throw. Right? I'm only gonna do it right throw at the top. Right? There's a reason for it. I'll explain shortly. Let me just get this out of the way. Alright. So now we've gotten that line that goes across like that, because even though the part is cut off, it is still showing actually this line over here. This line in between over here is this line over here. This line over here is this line over there, which you don't really see, but it is there, right? So now I need to do these lines at the bottom. These lines will be dark, right? Right? But you see this cut out section over here, it only goes until this point over here on this drawing. You see I measured from the center of the circle to the right, I measured 24. So it only goes until that part over there. So what I need to do now is I need to project that part, that line over. right? So I can immediately darken it. Yep, there we go. Yeah, as you can see that cutout section, because this is a whole tangent over here, right? That's why we project it over. Right? Alright. Now that is over, out of the way. Alright. There's also this slide, this part over here, right? We've already measured it from that point upwards, it's 6, and we've already projected that line across. And the total width is the same as this on the inside over here, which is 54. So from the center over there, I need to measure to the left and to the right 27, right? So to the left and to the right of that, I need to measure 27. So 27 will be roughly about there, and that will be on 0, and that will be on 54. Okay, here we've got it. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to project that lines up. Again, I'm doing this lightly. I'm doing my planning, I always do lightly. And I'm taking it down to my 45-degree line. So I can use it later to project onwards, right? And on the side as well. Alright. Now I've measured that line, alright? And because that line is only 6 millimeter up, I can already draw it over here. Because I've already drawn a 6 millimeter line across, let me just make a mark over there. Mark over there. Alright. 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 Now we've got our 6 millimeter part over there. Done. It's over and done. Easy. Alright. Now what next point I'm gonna focus on, right, is this part over here. You see this part over here? Right? This part over here. This is the curve on the outsides, and that, oh, this is the same one on that side as well. Right? But before we do that, let's do this part over here. We won't look at this. It won't be at an angle as we saw in this part. It will just be like a straight line up like that. It will just be a straight line up. So the distance from the center, left and right, it will be 6, 6, because they give it to us as 12. So we need to measure 6 to the left and 6 to the right, which will be 0 and 12. Oops, that is, no, that's not 12, that's 17. Here we go. Alright. And from what I see from the drawing, right, is that I can immediately darken those two lines as well. Right? Because it is in line with my view. It's from, if I looked from the left side, it is what I will see. Right? But your first thing will be now, okay, let me just draw the line until that corner over there, and until that corner over there, it needs to be darkened. But we need to take into consideration that those have arcs over there, right? And the reason why I say always project it across is because for the next step, right, I have projected my center lines, right? I projected the center line over there. So what I need to do, right, I just need to take it from that point over there. I need to measure in 20 millimeters, Right, just extend this line a bit further. It touches over there. And that line over there, that's okay. That's fine. Right. So from this point of view, obviously I have my 10 millimeter space, 10 millimeter to the left, 10 millimeter to the left, and 10 millimeter to the right. Right. So from that corner of there, I'm going to measure in 20 millimeters. Right. So my center of my point will be somewhere. Okay. I'll just take it as that. Alright, and from the right side inwards as well, that will be 20 millimeters. Alright, now I've got my 20 millimeter lines. Right, let me just get my compass, and it's pretty simple. What you can do is, you see this hidden detail lines I made, I can just project it across. Right, the center lines over here, the center circle which is going to be cut through, I can just project it across. I put my compass over there and I put it on 8. You can put a compass on 8, as you can see. Let me just show you. I put my compass on 8 millimeters and it will be the same. Slightly bit slow, smaller. Right there, it is on 8. You see, it touches the top line and it touches the bottom line. So there is my circle. Oops. Always press down with the pointy end of your compass so that you make a little hole in it. Yeah, okay. And when I'm done on that side, let's focus on the right side. Oops, yeah, okay, there we go. Again, making a mistake. Okay, never mind. I'm done with circle. Alright. Now that I've done my circles, right, I can immediately do the outside curves as well. But before that, what I'm going to do is, you see my center of my circles, what I was supposed to do before, and before doing my circles, I needed to draw center lines for it. But what I'm going to do is, right, these center lines, I'm just going to draw it here